Police say young Dolph was inside Makita's around 12:30 in the afternoon Wednesday when he was gunned down. Police Chief C.J. Davis says they are still talking to witnesses and checking cameras in the area that might have captured the crime.
Earlier today, I don't know if you heard about it, but the person behind the shooting that you were involved in Charlotte was sentenced to a decade in prison. You heard about it? The 100 shots.
See, I ain't heard about it. Everything about it and everybody that's connected to it. All of them, they look shrimps. You know what I mean? Like, they shrimps. Every last one of them put together.
After Dolph gets killed, Yo Gotti's brother, Big Juke, gets killed. Did you know Big Juke?
Yeah, Juke was my boy.
They say that Juke had a $100K hit on Dolph. Straight Drop only got $800 for that hit.
In hip-hop, some rap beefs are all about the music, just lyrical jabs and entertainment. But then there are the ones that go way beyond that, turning into something real, something so deadly. That's exactly what went down between young Dolph and Yo Gotti.
What happened in that incident? So that wasn't your truck, you wasn't in that vehicle, had nothing to do with you, or do you feel like it was for you?
Man, which one? What you talking about?
In CIAA this year.
I'm saying, like, yeah, I was there, know what I'm saying, but what they were trying to do, they couldn't get it done. You know what I'm saying? It was, you lose.
Before Dolph was K-worded, their feud was on another level. Diss tracks.
If it ain't one thing, it's another.
Public shots at each other.
It's gonna be legend when you're doing legendary. Free Big Me.
And even full-on street warfare, like when Dolph's car got hit with 100 bullets.
Around 100 shots fired close to CIAA festivities. Tonight, we're hearing from those who escaped the crossfire. It happened while thousands of people were in uptown Charlotte for CIAA events.
Yeah, it was that serious. Let's break it all down. People say it all started over something small, but before anyone could stop it, things spun out of control, and Dolph ended up losing his life. You'd think that would be the end of it, right? But no! 3 years later, the violence kept going, and more people from both sides kept falling. One of them was Big Juke, Gotti's older brother, who was rumored to have put a price on Dolph's head.
Yo Gotti's brother, Big Juke,
that hurt.
recently got killed right after a funeral in Memphis. I guess his mom was around him too when it happened.
Yes.
There was like people on the internet saying that that Juke had 40,000 on someone's head and on young Dolph's head. I don't know whether it's true, but this is people talking.
Right.
The person killed is Anthony Mims, also known as Big Juke. Now, Big Juke is the brother of rapper Yo Gotti.
But why did things get this bad? See, in Memphis, Dolph wasn't just another rapper. He was the guy, supposedly the king of Memphis, as he called himself.
He's out here hustling relentless, claiming the king of Memphis, claiming his throne.
Like, all my boys, we kings of Memphis.
Back in 2010, Yo Gotti was really starting to blow up in the mainstream scene. He had a song called 5 Star featuring Gucci Mane, Trina, and Nicki Minaj, and it was climbing the charts, making it look like Memphis had a new superstar on the rise.
Hey, I'm looking for a 5 star.
Meanwhile, young Dolph, on the other end, was just getting his foot in the door with his music career. He had dropped his second mixtape, Welcome to Dolph World, and was starting to get some recognition from artists like Gucci Mane, 2 Chainz, and OJ the Juiceman. He was building a little buzz, but he wasn't quite there yet. By the time 2012 rolled around, Yo Gotti was already a big name, not just in Memphis, but in the whole rap game. And by then, young Dolph was making waves too. Yo Gotti took notice and in August 2012 reached out to Dolph for a show aimed at bringing out the youth of Memphis. This event is actually the only known footage of them together.
Sarah Memphis, what's up? She make you wanna lay, yo. I told her mama, bitch, you got that hate. Yeah, to my Dolph in this Can't stay, you what's happening?
It was around this time that Yo Gotti officially offered young Dolph a record deal with CMG, but Dolph turned it down. According to Yo Gotti, the last conversation they ever had was on August 24th, 2012. From that point on, they never spoke again, at least not in public. At first, it seemed like everything was cool between them, but as time passed, things started getting shaky. It all began with subliminal shots. On October 15, 2013, Young Dolph dropped a mixtape called South Memphis Kingpin, and on track 6, Scared to Me, he threw his first subliminal jab.
Yeah, he cool, but he fake as doing all that tricking on that your baby.
At the time, nobody really knew who he was talking about, but later on, it was revealed that he was taking shots at Yo Gotti's baby mama. That's when tensions between the two started brewing behind the scenes. Dolph finally addressed the situation on July 8th, 2014, when he dropped high-class street music for American Gangster. On the track What's Poppin', he made it clear that there was no beef between him and Yo Gotti.
You a boy, you riding, yeah. Why you got a bunch of gun but ain't shot him?
But just a month later, during a promo run, he was asked in an interview if Gotti had ever supported him.
They're like, Gotti wanted me to do the, like, man, come on, bro, let's do CMG paper route. That's cool. I'm knocking for that. If I was him, I would have came to me like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But only thing was going to happen behind it was people like, oh, he popped off because of Gotti.
And as time went on, things only got more tense. By December 2014, during another radio interview, Dolph was asked about the rising tension, and he simply said,
Yo Gotti came to me, he wanted to do a situation, he like, man, let's do the paper route CMG thing, you feel me? I'm a hustler. You feel me? For anything, bro, I'm a man and I'm a hustler. So I don't knock you for that. But if I was you, I would have tried to do that. After that, bro, I'm real. All I know how to do is keep it real. So, just like I said, bro, if I was you, I'd try to do that too. But at the same time, if you like, bro, you straight and how you rock with me, how you show me you rock with me.
But the tension didn't stop there. It only got worse. On February 28th, 2015, things took a dramatic turn when a CIAA event in Charlotte got shot up. This moment would later become one of the key incidents tied to their beef. That night, 2 people were shot at a club hosting a CIAA weekend party where artists like T.I., Young Jeezy, Yo Gotti, and Young Dolph were supposed to appear. It's unclear if they were actually there at the time of the shooting, but videos surfaced online showing people running and ducking for cover. At the time, nobody directly linked the shooting to the growing tension between Dolph and Gotti, but the streets started speculating that it was connected. After that incident, Dolph escalated things even further. On October 8th, 2015, he dropped Cheyenne on the industry, and on the title track, he made a slick comment about someone's baby mama sliding into his DMs.
That's who baby mama DM me, said you I would tell you, but I'm always starting.
At first, no one really put 2 and 2 together, but later on, it became clear. This was yet another subliminal shot at Yo Gotti. Of course, this got Yo Gotti's attention, and on November 27, 2015, he dropped a track called Legendary, where he clapped back at Young Dolph's baby mama comments from Cheyenne on the industry.
Really hate me about the my that's some other How you gonna be legend when you're doing legendary stuff?
At the time, most people had no idea these two were throwing subliminal shots at each other. Only the streets really knew what was up. Then, on the second verse of Legendary, Yo Gotti dropped a line that really set things off, saying, "Never disrespect the king, you know you gotta see me about it." This is what a lot of people believe officially took their beef from subtle jabs to a full-on public feud.
I never eat without a disrespect the king, no, you gotta see me about it.
So how did Young Dolph respond? Well, on February 9th, 2016, he announced his new album, and the title alone was enough to stir the pot. King of Memphis. Dolph knew exactly what he was doing with that name, because at the time, Yo Gotti literally had King of Memphis in his Twitter bio and had been calling himself that for years. And to make things even more intense, Dolph scheduled his album release for February 19th. The exact same day, Yo Gotti was dropping The Art of Hustle. Of course, this had fans debating who the real King of Memphis was, and for the first time, their beef wasn't just speculation. It was officially out in the open. Then, just 2 days after announcing his album, on February 11, 2016, Young Dolph took to Twitter and threw some shade, saying, "Bra went from being my #1 fan and wanting to sign me to being my biggest hater." It wasn't hard to figure out he was talking about Yo Gotti, since Gotti was the only artist Dolph had ever publicly mentioned trying to sign him. The very next day, Gotti seemingly fired back with his own tweet saying, "We can't afford to shoot and miss. Consistently making shots. Gotti Nation." That tweet was later deleted, but by then, the tension was already at an all-time high. On February 19th, 2016, Young Dolph officially dropped King of Memphis, then went on a promo run where he didn't hold back when talking about Gotti. A few days later, on February 24th, he stopped by Hot 97 and claimed that Yo Gotti had been texting him for 2 years straight.
Ain't no pressure with me, you know what I'm saying? Cause it's like people don't understand, like everybody on the outside looking in. Yo Gotti was texting my phone for 2 years straight. It's deeper than it ain't just the music and the rap like.
Then during an interview on The Breakfast Club, he talked about how people who once supported him had turned into haters. And then just 4 days later, on February 28th, 2016, the CIAA event happened again. You might remember that in 2015, 2 people were shot at this same event while Yo Gotti and Young Dolph were both in town. Well, in 2016, things got even crazier. 50 to 60 shots were fired at Young Dolph's Sprinter van. His manager was inside, but Dolph wasn't. And it was pretty clear who those bullets were meant for. Security saw a Nissan Altima speeding away from the scene, and shortly after, 40 to 50 shots were fired into the lobby of the Hyatt Hotel and 2 parked vehicles around 4:45 a.m. That night, 3 people were arrested: Howard Wright, Kevin Thompson, and Derecki Bolton. They were charged with shooting into an occupied dwelling and firing a gun within city limits. But the biggest shock? Howard Keon Wright, one of the suspects, was identified as Yo Gotti's road manager and the vice president of CMG Records. This officially tied Yo Gotti and Young Dolph's beef to something way more serious than just music. It was now real street business. By 2018, 2 of the 3 men faced multiple charges, including shooting into an occupied property and carrying a concealed weapon. Keon Wright was sentenced to 10 to 14 years in prison and is still behind bars. After this, it wasn't just law enforcement paying attention. Everyone knew this wasn't just about diss tracks anymore. Following the shooting, tensions between both camps exploded online. On March 2nd, 2016, Black Youngster, one of Yo Gotti's CMG artists, went on Instagram calling out Young Dolph and even pulled up to his old neighborhood in Castalia.
Man, I'ma keep the G, bro. Dolph, you a bitch. You a soft ass nigga. You nice nigga. If you got a problem, you can say you got a problem. Shake ass. And you know King of Memphis, you ain't King of South Memphis, you ain't from the city. Where we at right now, cuz? We in Castalia right now, cuz. What Dolph at, cuz?
Dolph, on the other hand, played it cool and responded in a nonchalant way, basically acting like he didn't care about Black Youngster flashing guns or making threats.
Hey, if I was these I'd be mad at me too. You know what I mean? Yeah, all that, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I still ain't got no tags. Yeah, you know what I mean? I'd be mad at me too, bro.
Things eventually started to cool down, but just a couple of weeks later, on March 11th, 2016, Yo Gotti was on a promo run for The Art of Hustle and stopped by Tim Westwood's show. When asked about what was going on between Black Youngster and Young Dolph, Gotti kept it short and simple, saying Black Youngster is his own man. He does what he wants.
As you know, I don't move like that. So I'm always tell, not only him, but any youngin', like, you know what I mean? Don't really handle your business like that, you know what I'm saying?
A couple of days later, on March 15th, 2016, Trouble dropped a remix of Ready featuring Young Dolph. And on his verse, Dolph threw some not-so-subtle shots at Yo Gotti and CMG.
When it's traffic gangster shit, he the police. Facts. And I your boss man, baby mama, same hotel for 4 weeks.
Black Youngster wasted no time responding. On March 16th, 2016, he dropped Shake Some, a straight-up diss track aimed directly at Dolph.
Tour with the K.O. You the king of Memphis, you ain't from the city, you from Chicago.
Dolph wasn't about to let that slide, so he hopped on Instagram and went off, posting a bunch of videos going at both Yo Gotti and Black Youngster.
I've been spraying your for years, the whole city know that. Gotti, you was a got back to the city, they say you trying to put charges on me and put the police on me. You send your little while you're talking. You a broke boy, now you hating on Dolph. You a Hey man, if I was your boy, I'd be mad at me too, man.
And he didn't stop there. On March 28, 2016, he took his shots to the stage, dissing them, both live in front of a crowd. For a little while, it seemed like things were cooling off. But then, on June 27, 2016, Black Youngster performed Shake Some live just to keep the energy going. A few days later, on July 3rd, 2016, he he suddenly announced that he had no more beef with Dolph, saying he lost a lot of money because of it. But that didn't mean things were really over. On August 29th, 2016, while promoting his own project, young Dolph stopped by Sway in the morning and addressed the situation with Black Youngster. Then, on September 9th, 2016, Black Youngster did an interview where he actually gave Dolph some credit, saying he should have been on the XXL freshman cover.
I think it's a Memphis thing, because I ain't even see Dolph on there. On that long time ago. So yeah, I feel like, me personally, I feel like I'm putting enough work to where when he was doing it, when they were sending them out, he should have been on one of them covers.
But just a week later, Dolph shut that down completely. He wasn't interested in any props from Youngster.
I don't want to talk about the hood, man.
What about the double XL?
You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't even, it's all that fake. You know what I'm saying? A little dude don't even know me, so all that fake. He can't conversate about me.
By October 2016, Yo Gotti himself got more involved in the beef. On October 31st, 2016, he dropped a collab mixtape with Moneybagg Yo called 2 Federal, and on the intro track Can't Do It, he sent subliminal shots at Dolph. A couple of months later, on December 23rd, 2016, he dropped White Friday CM9, and once again, on the intro track 81, he took more subliminal shots at Dolph. Dolph wasn't holding back anymore. On February 1st, 2017, he dropped Play With Yo BEH, going straight at Yo Gotti, his crew, and even his family.
Heard your intro, your last 2 mixtapes. I hear you slick dissing, but that line.
The next day, he followed up with his mixtape Gelato, keeping the shots coming.
I don't squash it. Old rapper from the other side of town was hating, so I baby mama, now he's...
Dolph kept the pressure on, calling out Gotti in interviews, while the internet ran wild with rumors. On February 12th, blogs falsely claimed Gotti had responded with a diss track called Don't Beef With Me, but it turned out to be just Moneybagg Yo's song Prayers. Then things got real. On February 26, 2017, during CIAA weekend, Dolph's SUV got hit with 100 bullets, but thanks to it being bulletproof, he walked away unharmed. Instead of hiding, he hit the club that same night and performed Play With Yo BEH just to send a message. The next day, he clowned the shooters on Twitter, laughing at how they missed. Dolph kept trolling. On April 1st, he dropped Bulletproof, and the track list itself spelled out a message mocking the attack. The first song, 100 Shots, was another diss aimed at Gotti, CMG, and Black Youngster.
100 shots. How the miss a whole 100 shots? I told you to stay out my way, but you didn't listen.
Gotti still didn't respond directly, but on April 16th, while performing in Kentucky, he said, "You'll never see me beef on the internet. We pull up." People took that as a shot at Dolph. Then on May 7th, Gotti denied having any issues with him at all. But the drama wasn't over. On May 16th, police issued warrants for Black Youngster and 2 others for the 100-shot incident. Youngster turned himself in later that day after police linked a rented van under his name to the shooting. He made bail, claiming the van was stolen and used without his knowledge, but he still got hit with multiple charges. The craziest part? His lawyer blamed Dolph's Bulletproof mixtape for the arrest, saying the police used its lyrics as evidence. Then, on May 18th, 2017, just 2 days after turning himself in, Black Youngster dropped a response track to Dolph's Bulletproof album, calling it Birthday. On the track, he accused Dolph of snitching, claiming that his lyrics were what got the police involved in the case.
A Dolph Thorne wanna see me dead and gone. This a red tat song. Dropped that Bulletproof and made a statement.
In the end, the whole 100-shot situation didn't really lead to much legally. Nobody ended up behind bars for it. About 2 years later, in May 2019, all the charges against Black Youngster were dropped. But before that, on May 28th, 2017, young Dolph hopped on Instagram to clown Black Youngster, basically calling him dumb for using a rental car in a drive-by.
Hey, I just rented more in my name, right? You know what I'm saying? And we finna go dump on. We finna jump out 6 deep, 100 shots.
Things went quiet for a bit, no drama, no back and forth. But then, on September 27th, 2017, things got crazy again when young Dolph was shot in LA. The police named Yo Gotti as a person of interest and picked up a guy named Corey McClendon near the scene. Now McClendon wasn't just some random dude. He was tight with Gotti, had been seen with him a lot, and even rocked CMG merch. TMZ ran with the story, but the LAPD quickly shut it down, probably to keep Gotti from knowing they had eyes on him. Either way, McClendon walked free the next day because they didn't have enough evidence to charge him. At this point, this was the third time someone linked to Gotti had been tied to an attack on Dolph. But Dolph bounced back. By October 13th, 2017, he was out of the hospital and had a message for the shooter. He wasn't slowing down for anybody.
Hey, we at the hospital, Jack. You know what I mean? Y'all know the time me, this don't stop. Legendary shit. Shout out to Pop, shout out to Easy, shout out to Big.
Meanwhile, Gotti was on his album promo run. On October 26, 2017, he hit the Breakfast Club, and Charlemagne put him on the spot about the Dolph beef. Gotti played it cool, acted like he didn't know where the issue started, and even pulled out old texts to make it seem like everything was fine between them. Dolph wasn't buying it. When he got on the Breakfast Club, he laid it all out. Gotti wasn't the victim here. He said Gotti was the one trying to sign him, not the other way around. He even claimed Gotti disrespected his own artist by being so focused on recruiting him. And just to stir things up even more, Dolph casually mentioned that one of Gotti's people got shot the night they tried to light up his Sprinter van with 100 bullets. That had everyone talking. After that, things cooled down again. Over the next few years, they'd throw little jabs. Dolph would diss them in interviews, and Black Youngster would pop off here and there, but nothing too serious, at least not yet. Then on May 15th, 2019, another shooting shook things up. This time, it was Yo Gotti's turn. His tour bus got shot up in Nashville after a concert. According to police reports, officers responded to the scene around 11:10 p.m. and found Gotti's tour bus hit with multiple bullets near the Lowe's Vanderbilt Hotel. Luckily, no one was on board at the time, but the police believed it wasn't just some random act. It was likely retaliation from Dolph's camp for everything that had happened in the past. Time passed once again, and on January 31st, 2020, Gotti dropped a new project called Untrapped. On the title track, he seemed to take a step back and reflect on everything that had gone down, possibly hinting at his past drama with Dolph.
Where we start off, how we go wrong, just risk it all to put a name in his song.
By February 5th, 2020, Young Dolph's diss track, Play With Your BCH, officially went gold, and he made sure to rub it in by posting about it on Instagram. In the caption, he threw in a slick jab at Yo Gotti, basically flexing that he got paid off dissing him. He even plugged his new project, Yellow Tape, just to add to the moment. A few months later, on August 14th, 2020, Dolph dropped Rich Slave and took more shots at Gotti on the track I See Money Signs.
Then I rapper, baby mama about mistake. Damn. Ever since then, that big.
Gotti didn't say a word in response, but Black Youngster did. On August 16th, 2020, he posted a video on Instagram of himself randomly firing a gun in the air, tagging Young Dolph in the caption with some not so subtle threats.
Put on mess see what's
Just 2 days later, Dolph was asked about it during his Breakfast Club interview, and his response was as dismissive as it gets. He acted like he didn't even know who Black Youngster was. Then came 2021, and things would never be the same. On July 21st, 2021, Yo Gotti's artist ESTG dropped a track called Run Into Me featuring Gotti, and in his verse, Gotti sent subliminal shots at Dolph, keeping their Cold War alive. But on November 17th, 2021, everything changed forever. Young Dolph was back in Memphis doing charity work when he stopped by his favorite cookie shop. While he was inside, two gunmen rolled up in a white Mercedes, opened fire, and tragically ended his life.
Police say Young Dolph was inside Makita's around 12:30 in the afternoon Wednesday when he was gunned down.
Tonight, we strongly encourage everyone to stay home if you do not have to be out.
Right away, speculation ran wild, with many pointing fingers at Gotti due to their long-standing beef. The Memphis PD even increased security around Gotti's restaurant, fearing retaliation. The situation got so serious that Gotti ended up delaying his CM10 album out of respect, or maybe just to avoid stirring up even more controversy. Then, on December 12th, 2021, Dolph was supposed to perform at Rolling Loud But since he was gone, his PRE team showed up instead. And in a bold move, they played Play With Your BCH, the same diss track aimed at Gotti. One of Dolph's team members even made it clear that this wasn't over.
Your dog is here with us right now. I just hear him talking to me. You know what he just told me? What he said? He just told me, don't play with me.
Just over a week later, on December 20th, 2021, Black youngster stirred up even more controversy when he dropped the music video for I'm Assuming. In the video, he was rapping in a graveyard, and in the background, you could see a tombstone with the name Thornton, which immediately caught people's attention because young Dolph's real name was Adolph Thornton Jr. Fans took it as a direct diss, and youngster faced a ton of backlash. But instead of backing down, he doubled down, posting on Instagram that he didn't care what anyone thought and basically saying he was built for this. Then things took another dark turn. After Dolph's death, the internet noticed that Big Jook, Yo Gotti's brother, had been throwing shade about the MDare online. He was even seen hanging out with people suspected of being involved, including Hernandez Govan. But karma came quick. Jook was shot and K-worded right after attending a funeral with Yo Gotti.
Yo Gotti's brother, Big Juke,
that hurt.
recently got killed right after a funeral in Memphis. I guess his mom was around him too when it happened.
Yes.
At first, people didn't think it had anything to do with Dolph, since it had been almost 3 years. But now, with new details from the investigation, authorities are looking at it as a targeted hit, possibly connected to Dolph's MDare. And to make things even wilder, Jook's name even popped up in court documents related to the case after he was already gone. PRE members wasted no time mocking Jook's death. Social media was flooded with posts fueling speculation that Dolph's camp had something to do with it. Grove Hero, the comedian who had previously accused Jook of putting a bounty on Dolph, went live on Instagram, openly celebrating Jook's death. The deadly cycle of this rivalry had officially come full circle, proving that in Memphis, rap beefs aren't just about lyrics, they come with real-life consequences.